Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Caneswear today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
Traffic, but I love you.
Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos.
Los chicharrones.
Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina era CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero Cuba yo era médico.
Le saco el dedo y digo Q.
La verdad.
Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Fallo. Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of these 10th Street Boys straight out of Hialeah. I'm Bobby Finstock, joined always by my brother from another mother, Alex Atiachiska, who's muted. Let me put him on there because he was coughing in the background. We could hear him live on the entrance here. But he's here, finishing the Heat game.
You want me with my mic and there's a plane going over?
Yeah. Hey, but there's a lot to talk about. I thought we were going to kind of like touch on what's going on with the Dolphins. Good timing. And a breaking news update at least. Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald reporting that the Miami Dolphins are very interested in Odell Beckham Jr. They're looking for that third wide receiver. A lot of people were pushing out, of course, Michael Thomas. It was just funny because yesterday, or the day before yesterday, on Monday night, the draft show on the clock, we were talking about wide receivers and which wide receivers we liked in this draft and which wide receivers we'd love to see on the Dolphins. So Miami is very active in trying to get that third receiver. And they're very interested in Odell Beckham Jr., so much so that he is visiting tomorrow with the Dolphins per Josina Anderson and Jordan Schultz. So look at here. Evan Positive Fitzstanza's in the house. Got Tati watching, of course. But Alex, before we get into all that, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. A little tired. We had a volleyball game today. My son's basketball game. So I got home, I want to say 30 minutes ago, and I was able to see the ending of the Heat game, which, by the way, what an ending. We needed a game like this in a place like this. With our personnel being down, Bam being out, Jimmy was back. A lot of people stepped up. Terry was scary Terry again. So it was a nice, much needed victory for this team as they try to wrap up this road trip. Because I think they got another game left or two, if I'm not mistaken. I got to follow up on their schedule, but it's good, man. It's good to be back. I know we missed I think I missed a show last week, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think we had a show. We had a show.
We had a show?
I thought we did. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Hope so. I don't even know, bro. Time's just flying by.
It's just what it is.
Ask me. I never ask you, how the hell are you? How are you doing?
Man, I'm all right. I am, just busy, work, kids. Starting to get a playbook together and practice plans together for my son's flag football team. Curling is better than volleyball. Evan.
He's just mad because the Panthers are the best team in hockey.
That's right. He's a hater.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm getting ready for that. Obviously, a lot of work on the draft. Started watching edge rushers today. I had it here. We were going to talk about remaining free agents that the Dolphins could be interested in signing. So it's funny that this news comes on, and Miami just signed a receiver 14 minutes ago. It looks like Dolphins are re-signing River Craycraft. So that's pretty good. So if Miami can secure, if they decide to go ahead and sign OBJ, that would give them a room of Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, OBJ, Craycraft, Barrios, and Eazy-E. And I will say this again. Daniel, I see you in there, brother. I'm going to be pissed if you do this, draft a quarterback. I'm going to say this. Again, I like what Miami is doing in the sense of, now I don't know what a contract would be for OBJ. He's not the same player. Still very talented. A few years ago with the Rams in that Super Bowl run, he was looking really good with Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's still, I think, at 500. Let me see. That's what I was saying. Last season,
and he's
14 games.
Healthy.
Yeah, 14 games, 35 receptions, 565 yards, 3 touchdowns with Baltimore. He's not the same player, but he's still a very good receiver. And he's not your number one guy. So, you pair him with these two guys here, plus Janu Smith, you got yourself a decent receiver room. My preference, though, if they sign him tomorrow, I'm not going to hate on it. My preference, though, would be go draft a receiver. And I think that what I like what Miami's doing is they kind of, again, not under the radar, but more lower tier signings, safe signings, filling out all the holes. So that way, when you go into the draft, you could go BPA. Now, again, if they sign OBJ tomorrow or Michael Thomas or whomever, receiver-wise, I had Tyler Boyd. That was one of my guys that I thought would be a good signing. Then you go into the draft, you don't have to but have to force yourself to draft a receiver just because you need a third guy. Now, you could go ahead and get that extra quality player or a luxury pick rather than a need pick. Daniel here saying pass. He doesn't want OBJ. He's going to be pissed if Greer does it. Draft a quarterback. That's Daniel, which I'm a little surprised. I don't think Daniel's ever said that before. But, Alex, besides that, your thoughts on a potential OBJ signing?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. One of the things that I think is very important is the fact that the money has to be right, and supposedly he's looking for a multi-year deal, but obviously we know how the money works in the NFL. They can just restructure deals at any given point, and obviously you kick the money down the road. When they restructure Bradley Chubb's contract, I figured obviously, you need money to sign your draft picks, but then you also add that to Xavier Howard's post 6-1 cut money coming off the books. So now you're looking at close to like $40-something million in cap space. When I saw that, I'm like, okay, it looks like they might make a play for like a Brandon Ayuku, something like that. I was like, that's interesting. But obviously the Michael Thomas, I would support also because it's a low risk, high reward possibility. But OBJ is still, like you mentioned, he's not the same player that he was, but you kind of see the emulations where they might have the same style for him, how he was with the Rams and Cooper Kupp. And you hit the nail on the head with that one. So you're going to see that style. And then you add a Waddle. And then you add a Juno Smith. And then you add a Chain. And then you add Mozart. You probably draft a running back maybe. You draft another wide receiver. You have Eazy-E, which could be our big possession receiver. Eazy-E is 6'2", 6'3", if I'm not mistaken. So he's not a small receiver. And even OBJ, not being the same player that he was, it's still a different skill set than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's still going to have the speed, blow the top off your defense. You got Waddle and Beckham working in the middle with Juno Smith and a Chain. You have still, once again, possibly one of the most balanced offenses in the NFL, if not the most. explosive offense in the NFL as well. So, and mixed with the defensive additions, which some of them haven't been sexy names and big money names, but they kind of, what we talked about last show, they're taking the identity of their defensive coordinator, and these are the players that he wants. So I'm all for it. I love the methodical working of this free agency because it shows a team that is not rebuilding, but it's a soft retool. Well, and the defense is a big retool in the essence of you're changing the identity of your defense, and you're gonna rely on your playmakers. So I'm all for it as long as the money is right, and I do believe he'll be a perfect complement to our offense. But we'll just wait and see. I still think draft wise, always best player available. So if you have a nice wide receiver they want to go for it.
Yeah,
If you have a nice
and
go for it.
And Daniel clarified he meant wide receiver. Go draft a receiver rather than sign OBJ. What I will, because when he said draft, when I saw draft the quarterback, I was like, that's not Daniel. Daniel didn't say that. Daniel won't say that. But again, I don't think signing a player like OBJ would stop you from drafting a receiver, whether that's Worthy out of Texas, which I know a lot of people love. Miami was full-fledged. Chris Greer, Frank Smith, John Embry, Mike McDaniel, all on hand for today's Texas Pro Day. A lot of players, draftable players, are there. Of course, everybody's excited, thinking about Xavier Worthy, which they got a picture of him and Coach shaking hands. But other players that Miami could consider in the draft, of course, is Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat, other wide receiver, Adonai Mitchell, Christian Jones, the tackle, Jatavion Sanders, tight end, Jonathan Brooks, Jordan Worthington, running backs, Jalen Ford, linebacker, and defensive back Ryan Watts. So very interesting that everyone, almost, at least all the important guys, Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer, Frank Smith, John Embry, all on hand to check out Texas Pro Day. They are in on someone, or at least on a couple prospects at that location. And the other thing, you nailed something on the head while you were talking. It just came to me when you were talking was what they, emulating what they did in San Francisco. Sean McVay picked up OBJ to be with Cooper Kupp and company over there. This screams Mike McDaniel to me. When they say they really like him, to me it says Mike McDaniel really likes OBJ, and he wants OBJ on his team. He believes that OBJ could come to his team, his offense, with Tyreek and Jalen and whoever he else has there, and thinks that he could turn this offense from – it was the number one offense in football. So it's hard to go higher than you already are. Now, of course, even though it was number one offense in football, it dived a little bit towards the end of the season, but statistically still number one offense. But you want that continuation. What's up, Cap? Fitzstanza says Xavier Worthy thought McD was the traveling secretary. Oh, all right. And I think OBJ screams Mike McDaniel. What's gonna matter, I know Fitzstanza would be the first to say this, it's gonna be the contract. What does the contract look like? You know what I mean? You don't want to overpay for a third wide receiver.
Heavy. No.
Say what?
Incentive heavy, probably. Incentive heavy.
Yeah,
so
incentive heavy.
Yeah.
But again, I'm with Daniel. If it was my choice, now again, I'm not going to hate on this. I'm not hating on it. I think I think it's good for Miami to go get a legitimate third good wide receiver, whether that be, OBJ, Michael Thomas, who've been number ones before, but also Tyler Boyd, who's had 2 1,000-yard seasons with Cincinnati, took a step back just because of T. Higgins and who's the receiver? Oh God, the number one receiver in Cincinnati. Brain is fried.
Cincinnati, Jamar
Chase. So Tyler Boyd has experience being the third receiver, but he's also been a 1,000-yard receiver, not with Joe Burrow. So I would have preferred probably Tyler Boyd and then go draft a receiver to be with those guys. But I think this screams Mike McDaniel. Evan says 2 years, $12 million, a la Mozart. That makes sense. That would make sense. $6 million a year, maybe an option on the second year. OBJ knows the Shanahan scheme, but it's a risky move. Kardashian curse is real. Is he dating a Kardashian?
Supposedly he's dating Kim Kardashian. Yes.
Okay, but can I say this, Kat? How would it hurt us if Miami is not cursed already? Maybe this is a reverse curse. If we add this curse, because how could you be 8-3 2 years in a row and get bounced and be the number one offense in football, a top 10 defense in football, have all the talent that you did have, 3 games ahead in the AFC East, first and second seed at the when you were 8-3 at that part, and then drop everything and then get bounced twice in 2 years in a row in the first round of the playoffs? If Miami's not cursed already, I don't know what the hell the big problem is. So maybe the Kardashian curse will do a reverse curse and all will be well in the world. All right. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. But besides, if ABJ, we don't know what's to be confirmed. Evan says, because your coach is a bit moron. Hey, talking about coach. Did you get to hear Xavier Howard's comments on Brian Flores?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, he's a defensive player. Brian Flores is a defensive guy. I never had a problem with Brian Flores as a coach in regards to the whole thing about being a player's coach. He did a statement there that he was like, oh, if you fuck up, obviously he's gonna bitch you out and all that. Yeah, some coaches will do that, absolutely. But he's like, oh, if you do a good play, he's not gonna dap you up, this and that. I'm like, wait a second. The definition of a player's coach is both ways. Like, you're hard on people, but when they do something as well that they're supposed to do and how they do it, you still bring it out of them, and you emphasize that as well. Like, people have this thing about when you're a coach, you just got to be a dog and you just got to scream and be mad all the time. That's not always good coaching. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, football is it's probably the most competitive sport, obviously, aside, like physicality wise, like aside from rugby. So yeah, you have to have it in you. Because for example, basketball is a contact sport, but you're not going purposely to tackle another human being. You have contact due to the nature of the sport, so you need to be physical. But like, I take it as the perspective of an ex-player. He's not going to talk bad about his coach, and he's looking for a job. So you're not going to bring anybody down in regards to, you can't take away the good that Brian Flores was. And yeah, Brian Flores stuck up for his players. Brian Flores was a great defensive-minded coach, and he was a decent leader of men. But that doesn't take away from McDaniel. That doesn't take away from Flores. I hate when people automatically have to take everything that anybody says in an interview and always retrace steps or try to point out things. Oh, you see, I told you. Oh, people were talking about Brian Flores. That was just one person, Xavier Howard. Interview all the players and how they talk about Brian Flores or how they talk about Mike McDaniel. Every player is going to have a different perspective. So I don't take much to it. I take it as an ex-player that was happy with his coach, and he was the defensive coach, so obviously it was his side of the ball, and he felt great about it. So I just take it as a player talking about his coach. There's nothing major to it. But obviously Twitter are always going to flip and obviously try to paint McDaniel as a softie, or Brian Flores was a real player's coach. So everybody has their narrative, which is okay.
So what if there's another instance? This is regards of OBJ. What if there's another incident with Tyreek Hill and he's suspended? What if this is a kind of a deep end game, in my opinion, because anybody could, somebody was on steroids, or you got to suspend him. The incident in January with Tyreek Hill didn't sound pretty, but supposedly it's over and done with. And again, that's up to Mike McDaniel. That's a Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer decision. If they think that it's worth it, he's already on the contract, so it doesn't matter. My question for you is, if let's say it's Braxton Barrios, and Miami decides not to sign a third receiver, he's the third receiver. Now, Tyreek Hill gets suspended. Would you rather have Jalen Waddle, Braxton Barrios, Eazy-E, and Ryan Craycraft as your wide receivers? Or would you rather have Jalen Waddle, OBJ, Barrios, and Craycraft? And not saying, again, I understand it. Again, I would rather draft a receiver, but it's always a what if. Miami, everybody knew Tyreek's issues when he signed the contract. He had issues beforehand. Life happens. Crap happens. It is what it is. With OBJ, what if he's your number one receiver? Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge if we have to, or your one or two receiver. Again, I still think they should draft a receiver, even if they sign OBJ, because you need a guy to come in and eventually replace Tyreek when Tyreek steps away 2 years from now, and or they don't extend Jalen Waddle and he's going into a contract year next year, and they lose him like Christian Wilkins. You're going to need a guy to come in and step right away. Ender, Hialeah rocks. You're damn right.
And there's still a chance. I think they still might work out a Tyreek Hill extension, and also like a salary cap saving this year, and somehow add like another year to his contract, kind of like what they did with Armstead, where they gave him a little extra, and like they reworked his deal, and it kind of is like another year extension. But he saved money of the upfront, and he left money on the table, which was great. A great team player in that regards. But people forget that even the off-field issues with Tyreek, um, hopefully they're behind them. Even if they come up, like you mentioned, you still want to have talent on your roster. If you have the opportunity to sign OBJ now, I hate when people compare always. Oh, but he's not OBJ from 6 years ago. Okay, that's fine, but he's better than maybe our third or fourth wide receiver on roster right now. And I'm counting on Easy having a, an improvement, a step up from the past few years. He's healthy again. I do believe Easy could be an essential part of this offense. I don't think we're going to be so Tyreek Hill focused. I think we're going to have a more balanced offense with our receiving core, with our playmaker. I'm not even going to talk about receiving and running backs. I'm just going to label them playmakers. I think we're going to have a more balanced offense this year with all playmakers have equal shares with, obviously, games on the line, you're going to get the ball to your best player. That's how every team plays. I don't care if it's Mahomes, if it's Allen, you have your designated target. Everybody knows that. But I do see that we're going to have a lot of more balanced playmaking. And if OBJ fits the bill, and like you mentioned, he's coming to visit, that means this is serious. This isn't something that most likely when they come to visit, you try to make sure they don't leave without a contract. Because if that's someone that you really want, you don't want them leaving that building and possibly signing somewhere else. So it could be done tomorrow or Friday. If it does not done tomorrow or Friday, then we're moving on from OBJ.
Yeah, and it's happened before where players come over and it just didn't make, contract wise, just didn't make sense, and they move on. But again, I think this screams Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel wants this. He feels confident that he could implement this guy into the offense. Now, Kath asked the question: would you rather draft the receiver or? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Alex.
This whole thing, balanced offense. They have no offensive line. Are you forgetting? Oh, I'm not forgetting. I believe our offensive line is going to be pretty solid this coming year. Our offensive line this past year was decent with all the injuries. I love our signings so far. Our insurance policy with Win, and he might possibly start. The Connor Williams situation is a downer because you feel for him, and I do believe he will sign maybe like a lower annual average contract to if he's healthy enough to play, maybe at least half a season. That's still a surplus. He's still a great offensive lineman, whether you have him at left guard or center. So no, I haven't forgotten, and I think they're doing due diligence in regards to upgrading the offensive line. And I still believe that through the draft, some of these issues will be taken care of as well. So,
One thing too.
Boston Jackson.
Go ahead. Say what?
No. I was just responding to solid how no Hunt, no Connor Williams. Yeah, you lost Robert Hunt. You're not going to pay him that much money, but I believe what's our center's name? Brewer, the tight end center, the one that we signed.
Aaron Brewer.
Aaron Brewer. I think he's great, and it shows. And if at least in the minimal, it shows where the mindset is going forward. Where he gets down the field into the second level, third level, and he's arguably one of the most athletic centers in the league. But yeah, I see their idea.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Let me see. First off, what I would love for Miami that would help. What would help Miami's offensive line? And I'm happy to see G-Man in the house tuning in. Cap, of course, Daniel, Finsteins, everyone watching. We got 69 people watching between Instagram, X, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Very cool to see everyone in here. If you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, you can hop on over, interact with the guys, interact with us. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll have Courtney joining us shortly to touch a little, I guess, on this situation also, but also Miami Heat. Let me see. I want to see. I thought they signed someone else in free agent, offensive line wise. They signed Jack Driscoll. That's who else they got. Was it tackle? Was he a guard? Let me see.
They're solid depth pieces, man. I really do. Like they've been methodical in every aspect, and I think with O-line too. I think people are overreacting a little bit with the O-line situation. I'm gonna give it time until the secondary market after the post June 1 cuts.
Well, the one thing though we have to remember, and with a lot of people, because everybody, there's fans like you and there's fans like them, and is that you go off, which have you done for me lately? On the offensive line with injuries and the depth, it's just been a drag, So, and Chris Greer can't draft offensive linemen. Are you forgetting again? Again, I get it. I understand that frustration and whatnot. Now, would I draft? The question earlier, while I'm looking up some of the free signings, draft a receiver or edge at 21 from Cap. I think Miami's setting themselves up where they just go BPA, but. Yeah, Mike McDaniel, Evan had brought it up on the clock when he came on at the end, and it's true. I remember this, and I'm so glad he brought it up because is that Mike McDaniel has said that if he could draft an edge rusher every first round, he'd do it. So don't sleep on an edge rusher and in the first pick. No. But if it's me, again, it depends on what best receiver is there, what best edge rusher, what's best lineman. Graham Barton could play center, guard, and tackle. J.C. Latham tackle if he's there. Jackson Powers, we all know everybody loves. Zach Frazier, probably a second rounder, but still, I would love to have him. Wide receiver, Ladd McConkey out of Georgia, I like a lot. Xavier Legette. There's a lot of great, Brian Thomas. There's a lot of good to great wide receivers that you could get. Either in the first round, the second, third, fourth, fifth. It's so deep. So if Miami was to hit on their draft this year, they should be able to do it this year. If they could hit in the draft, it'd be great. But I know someone like G-Man would say it's Chris Greer making the picks. Let me go ahead and see. I think Jack Driscoll. I'm trying to remember if there was anyone else, and I'm missing here. But anyway, Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, Eichenberg, Jackson, Jack Driscoll, Robert Jones, Kendall Lamb. They haven't re-signed, but I know he's probably waiting out a contract, but I would hope Miami could do that. If Miami could bring in Kendall Lamb, that'd be great. I'd be happy with that deal. So they have depth, but nobody worthy of starting. How does that make you feel good about the O-line? We're going to start a bunch of backups. I know that's a question for Alex, but I'm just going to say, let me just say, Alex, again, Aaron Brewer started for the Titans last year. Isaiah Wynn started for the Dolphins and was solid for Miami when he did start. Armstead's in and out, but when Armstead's in, he's one of the better tackles in football. You bring back Kendall Lamb, you don't have to worry about that. Jackson was better, not great, but he was better than what he's been. You got to give Joe Barry a second year. Aaron Brewer, not great in passing, but a great running center. You see what they did with Connor Williams. If they're able to bring back Connor Williams, you could plug him at you could put Isaiah Wynn at right guard, put Connor at left guard, or put Connor at center, put Brewer at left guard. Again, we got to let the process play out. I will say this. I'm not going to say the offensive line is going to be better because we don't know yet until the final roster. But I will say is that I like the depth. I like the solid signing. I think offseason so far,
and flexibility.
The flexibility in the draft, what Miami has done in this free agency, in my opinion, is it made itself, of course, flexible in the draft, but also it's been solid with the money that it had coming in. Miami didn't have money going in. They work out the deals. Yeah, they push them back. They're still going to have to face that later on. It is what it is. But Miami, with as much money as they had, did some conservative signings, and they have now solid depth. Whatever. Never going to make you happy, G-Man. You're just being miserable now. But anyway, we got the one, the only, the pit bull. She's a dog. She will chew your ass out. Now, the one and only, our dear friend, Courtney Dolphin in the house. Let's bring her in here. Let me fix this.
Hi.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Great to see you. How you been?
Good. I missed you guys.
For sure.
What's up, Court? Dímelo, City.
I was on live, and I was like, I'm gonna go hang out with two of the best beards in the game.
Damn right. You're damn right. Let's see here.
305.
There we go.
I know a way to get rid of me for good.
William, what's up, brother? 305 Sports Now. Guys, if you haven't yet, go check out his channel, 305 Sports Now on YouTube. Great Miami sports content. Hurricanes, Dolphins, Heat, wrestling. He talks about wrestling too. The guy's awesome. Of course, Courtney. Catch her on Doll's Diaries on Dolphins Thirsty. First episode was back on Monday night. Killer episode with Fitzstanza. First off, before anything, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. A little drunk, but I'm good.
Some things haven't changed. No, just kidding.
This is Jack and Coke. I never drink Jack and Coke.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I didn't have any margarita mix. No, I'm good. I took my little hiatus. I had a lot of family stuff. My brother got married over the weekend. So,
awesome.
Yeah, so now I'm back, refreshed, and I've just been causing havoc all day.
There you go. I've seen you popping around a few places there. You're getting back into it. You're like dove right back in. I'm like, so
I was back and I was like, you know what? I'm taking nothing and no one seriously.
You cannot do that. I saw some of your stuff on Twitter today. I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, this girl.
Well, if someone is going to continuously like block and unblock and make burner accounts and tag me in burner, then you know what? Eminem said it great. I am whatever you say I am.
That's right.
So I just went off on a tangent with it today. And I literally had people, I tried to talk them out of it.
G-Man.
That actually asked.
Way to fuck up your life, buddy.
And I was like, my brother got married, and he's like, tell him I said congratulations. So me and Charles Armstead are basically best friends now.
There you go. The my goodness, obviously I know you've been following all of this. I know you've been following Pittsburgh, what's going on in Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. How's your family feeling about that?
Wildly confident in their team. They have concerns over Russell Wilson and George Pickens off the field personality wise.
Oh, okay.
But they believe that Russell's going to take the reins this year. And it's basically, they think it's Russell's spot to lose. And so we'll see. They really bragged about Queen because they all knew how badly I wanted him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they basically think that they're going to win the AFC. But I was like, you went from Kenny Pickett to Russell Wilson. Like, let's calm down. Like you improved, but like the bar was low.
Hey, I think it's pretty ballsy what Pittsburgh did. You you get Russell Wilson, and then you go and you still trade for Justin Fields. I'm not to replace Tua or not like that, but you see Mac Jones went to Jacksonville. Desmond Ridder went to Arizona. Kenny Pickett. Where did Pickett go?
Philadelphia.
He went to Eagles.
Philadelphia. So, these are, and then Sam Howell went to Seattle. I love those moves by those teams because, none of those guys are going to replace the starters or have any threat to the starter. But you got backups. You have a legitimate backup that if your guy goes down, you're like, okay, at least I have a guy who could win me a couple games, or I have confidence that he could do something. Where
I'm pretty sure teams. I'm pretty sure teams. I'm pretty sure teams obviously contacted Chicago in regards to Justin Fields, but they did him a solid, and he wanted to go to Pittsburgh, so he saw the opportunity to win the job there or replace Wilson within a year or two. So at least they did right by him, and they sent him to a place where he wanted. I'm pretty sure they could have gotten more, but they did right by him in that regards.
A stable, solid organization, great head coach in Mike Tomlin. I think it's a good move for him. And again, for those other teams,
I wanted Russell Wilson, if you remember. I said I wanted.
Yes, you did. And again, they signed it for $1 million. Right? Was it $1 million? What I don't know what the kind, but it was something.
Yeah, because he's still getting paid by the Broncos.
But you see, like, to me, teams are doing that, and I would hope Miami would take notes. And again, not to you're just trying. No, I'm not saying replace Tua, because none of those guys. Russell Wilson might give a run to, but not really from what he did last year. But none of those guys would replace Tua. But then you would feel a lot better if there was a Russell Wilson or a Justin Fields or a whomever any of those guys. You plug them behind Tua, you're feeling better if, God forbid, Tua goes down, rather than Mike White.
Not just that, but I think that sometimes you need to bring in competition to bring out the best in your quarterback. I think that sometimes 100%. You can get complacent knowing that you're the guy, your backup's Mike White. But I think that there's nothing wrong with continuously bringing in competition to help your quarterback level up. If there's a veteran there, that's a great veteran presence to learn from. But it can only do great things. You can't cater to a weak personality if that's your fear, is that, we're going to hurt his feelings by bringing in competition. This is a competitive sport. Everybody should be leveling up and playing their best. And I think by bringing in competition, you could light a fire under his ass.
Appreciate you, Scotty. Scotty coming to the clutch as always. Vet minimum is 1.25, and that is what Russell is getting. See, so like, to me, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to – it is what it is. But to me, I think that was such an easy move to make. But I know, again, you might be right. It might be the sense of, look, Russell Wilson, maybe a Kenny Pickett, one of those guys would have made more sense. But Russell Wilson, that might challenge, but you
also have to take into account Russell Wilson doesn't want to come into a situation like this because he wants to compete for the job. He wants to play. So,
yeah.
And for Broncos. And a lot of people – and I'm not saying – and please – what I'm about to say, I know people are going to blow it out of proportion. I understand always bringing competition, and you can possibly draft a quarterback in the fourth, fifth round if it's talented, and you want competition, which is fine. But in the other realm, if they feel the way they feel about Tua, people keep talking about Tua like he's a weak personality and all that. Just because he's not very loud or talkative, that doesn't mean he lacks any confidence in regards to that. And I just also put the tier. If they feel the way they feel about Tua, it's kind of like saying, like, we got to draft competition to push Mahomes, make him a little bit better. I know Mahomes is a different stratosphere. I'm just using it as an example because I know Twitterverse is going to take that as like, the Dolphins could have had Fields. Yeah, we could have had Fields, but Fields want to go to Pittsburgh. We could have Wilson for 1.2. Yeah, we could have had, but Wilson wants to go play, and he wants a chance to start. Those are conversations that you have. Every quarterback knows that if they come to Miami, they're guaranteed a backup position, or if Tua gets hurt, they're going to get in the game. But they're not going to compete for starting minutes. They're not going to compete for starting reps. So that also plays into account if, for example, Russell wants to get his next contract. Justin Fields possibly could be what Geno Smith was with the Seahawks, and in a year or two get an extension with Pittsburgh. So those are things that quarterbacks look for opportunity in regards to Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett saw, for example, with the Eagles, Jalen Hurts might be a little bit injury prone. Yeah, they're not going to move on from Jalen Hurts, but there is a possibility that it'll rebuild his worth. And Kenny Pickett has a long way to go, like you said. It's a really, really low totem pole that he set for Russell Wilson. So he's going to exceed everything, Right. But it was one of those situations where the organization knew this is not the direction we're going to go. And what happens behind closed door, you're going to compete with Russell Wilson. You're not, and he has out. So they just shipped him off. So those are things that people got to take into account when they talk about quarterbacks.
So now that we got Court in here, and she asked me about Goon Squad this morning, so we're going to touch on more heat than anything with her. But before, I know, Alex, I didn't get to see it
here, but Jesus Christ!
Oh, the game was amazing. The ending was amazing. It's one of those games that you needed. Like I said, it's one of those games that you're down a man. Jimmy's back. Jovic is playing great. Yep.
But before we do that, I want to get Courtney's reaction because I know she's seen it. Because like me, she's in all of it. The report from Barry Jackson and then Josina Anderson. Barry Jackson, Dolphins are very interested and like Odell Beckham Jr. And he's visiting tomorrow. So I see your reaction there, but be vocal about it. What are you thinking about this?
I hate it. I don't think he's a good fit for us. I don't think we need more spotlight and cameras. He's dating Kim Kardashian. I don't think that we need that brought in. And I don't think that OBJ would be happy in Miami. He would have to be guaranteed at least number 3 behind Waddle and Tyreek. He's not going to get the kind of reps that I think that he would be looking for. Tua, and I said this on my live earlier. I went live on Instagram after the Heat one. He, whatever.
Go, girl.
Tua throws better, and Tua and ons are going to come at me. I don't give a shit. Tua throws better when he has a relationship with his receivers, when he can anticipate where they're going to be. If you notice, he doesn't really throw to the new receivers as much. I don't think his safety net. He has a safety net of Waddle and Tyreek, and I don't know if they have enough time to mesh. And I just don't think the personality-wise, OBJ fits on the Dolphins. And also, please keep the cameras out of our goddamn facility. After the Hard Knocks, I never want to see my team on the TV again. But OBJ really hasn't done anything since his one catch for the Giants, in my opinion. He's had a couple of plays here and there, but I don't think that I think we can do better. Honestly, at this point, I'd rather go back to Jarvis Landry.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Honestly, for me, I didn't even think about OBJ, but because of he had some injuries last year, and I just didn't think it would make sense for him to come to Miami before his name was brought up. Again, the only reason why I wouldn't hate on it tomorrow if it went down, because this screams Mike McDaniel. As I've said, this screams Mike McDaniel all in saying, I want to bring this guy. I think he's going to fit. I think I could plug him in with my other 2 receivers, blah, 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 blah. And if OBJ is coming down, he obviously knows who the 2 top guys are in that room.
And he's happy with it. And he's happy with his role.
My preference, if you were talking about free agent signings, I was saying Tyler Boyd. I think that would have been a good 3rd wide receiver out of Cincinnati. He had 2 1,000-yard seasons. Again, he's used to being the 3rd receiver, solid receiver, or draft one. There are so many good to great wide receivers in this draft. I would have loved to draft, and I hope they still do, and I think they still will strongly consider it.
I'd prefer like a 5th round draft.
Say what?
I'd prefer like a later round draft pick for our receiver 3. And we still have Easy E. People are hating on Easy E. Some respect on his name.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Now, I say I wouldn't hate on it, but it really depends on the contract. If it's Evan said 2 years, his prediction was 2 years, 12, which would be 6 a year.
No. 1 year, $3 million is the most OBJ. I would rather re-sign Claypool.
Alex, you got a lot of faces, Alex.
He's not going to sign for a year and $3 million. If he gets a year, he might sign like a 1 year, $8 million deal, but it's incentive laced. But if not, he's gonna look for a multi-year deal. I
don't know if he'll look for a multi-year deal because I think he knows where his career is right now. He's 31. He's not old. He's 31. I think Scotty vet minimum with incentives probably. I think if you're going to go at multi-years, you might say, okay, I'm going to sign you for a 2-year deal like Evan brought up. But I would say instead of 2 years, it'd be a player minimum. I mean, option. What?
Yeah.
1 year. Yeah. And then that's it. That's what she's saying. But But if you look, let's see, it's Jalen Waddle, Tyreek,
He just re-signed River Craycraft.
River Braxton, which I know you're happy about.
Easy E. I'm telling you, it could be a talented, nice little wide receiver room. And obviously whoever we draft.
Right. I think we should definitely draft somebody. I still wouldn't mind going after like Michael Thomas.
Well, again, yeah, Michael Thomas, who also was a number 1 wide receiver, and he's kind of he's kind of thrown out there the bones saying, hey, I would love to come to Miami.
And he's getting healthy. And he's getting healthy.
Still my Landry jersey, so it dust that baby off.
And Chad
Johnson wants more than we offer. The offer is tomorrow. He's visiting tomorrow, so I don't think there's any. Miami hasn't offered them anything.
Yeah.
There's talks. There's always preliminary talks with agents. Remember.
Let's see if we sign OBJ.
The fact that he's visiting shows both mutual interest and that a contract agreement is plausible. So you're not going to meet. You're doing your rounds, but for you to meet and obviously you're just talking and you're trying to set the price, set the market for him. But I'm pretty sure the agent already had a few talks with Greer and like, what are we looking at? What are the possibilities? And let's just talk it out.
That's different. Yeah. Preliminary discussions, like saying, hey, if we fly down there, what type of deal are you thinking about giving? Oh, I'm thinking about giving this. All right. We could work with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue here. Let's move on. Let's talk to Miami Heat, Alex. Just recap the game, brother, man. You watched it live. You got to finish it at least. You said it's what Miami needed. Talk
exactly what Miami needed. They had a lead. It was back and forth. They gave up. They had a double-digit lead. They had an 8-point lead to start the fourth. They went into the scoring drought. There's something going on with that fourth quarter unit when Spo gives some rest. I know today it was shorthanded because of Bam, but Nico stepped up. There was a few instances that you saw him struggle, but he kind of reinvented himself really quickly and started. The discipline is there. Okay, he's working on it, and you can see it. Now the offensive flow is there when they're not forcing certain shots, certain looks. Hawkins, they're not really using him at times because now they're not really using him the right way because he's playing a lot of minutes with Jimmy, a lot of minutes with Caleb. So we got to get a feel for the roster when healthy. Kevin Love is coming back. Tyler Hero is still 2 weeks away probably. Duncan Robinson, like we talked about the other day that we were going over, is day-to-day. So most of it is probably maintenance. It could have been just spasms and there a lot of treatment, a lot of rest. There comes to a point where he has an uptick in minutes this year, so there's a little bit more wear and tear. Yeah, he's young, he's an athlete, but back problems usually start like that, and they start not detrimental, but very nagging. So kind of that's what you saw Bam set out today. Bam could have played if it was a playoff game, but you want to do maintenance because this is the stretch run. You want to be healthy for the last 2 weeks of the season. So I still think we're going to go on a run. They asked the question yesterday, like, oh, well, what do you think the Heat are going to finish at the last 14 games? And I said 13-1. Like, I wasn't joking about that. Legit, I think we could go on a run because Rozier, part of the reason that not that I love, but Tyler being injured, it gives also Rozier the confidence and the time to build up to why we acquired him. This is exactly what we need. We need Terry that is going to distribute the ball. He's going to play into the offense. Perfect. He's going to play his role. But there's nights that you need to pick up the scoring load. There's nights that you need to pick up and need to score 30. Jimmy is dominant. Jovic was playing. So, did this man, G-Man.
First,
we already beat Philly.
G-Man, they're exactly like that. They can't beat anybody. How many Super Bowls have the Dolphins been in the last whatever years as of recently? How many? Was it 0, right? How many playoff wins? 0, right?
Yeah.
How many playoff wins have the Heat had? A few. How many championships? How many championships have the Heat gone to? Finals. A few. And who did they beat?
Finals?
Philly. Yeah. How many finals? How many championships? We say. Will we be happy if the Dolphins recently,
just
gone to the Super Bowl, give us one Super Bowl game?
One playoff win at this point.
Give us a win. Give us one playoff win. So the Heat are exactly like the Dolphins. G-Man, I could roll with you sometimes, man. I enjoy your back and forth, but Come on, man. Woo! Right over, brother. They've beaten Boston to get to the finals. They beat Philly before. Come on. It's funny to me. There are too many games of basketball and baseball, and there should be more games in the NFL.
No,
You
the
can't
NFL's a
put
lot.
the games in the NFL. It takes a beating. Your body
I
takes a
don't like.
beating. You
I
can't
don't
do
like
that.
the added a game. I don't like that they added a game in the NFL. I think it just.
See, you're looking at the Heat in the regular season, G-Man. Again, the Heat are, to me, are not a regular season.
And I'm gonna ask you,
They are a playoff
not
team.
this year. Boston will spank their ass, and I guarantee you, if there's one team that Boston does not want to face in a series, is Miami. I guarantee you that, because believe it or not, and you're gonna remember this, G-Man, because we are gonna face them in the playoffs. Okay, I know you got Porzingis, I know you got Drew Holiday, I know you got Tatum, I know you got Jaylen Brown hitting on all cylinders, etc. When we're healthy, we match up very well against Boston, and I guarantee you we'll go 6 or 7 games, and it might not be looking good for you in the 6th or 7th game if we're healthy. Now, can you beat us? Yeah, you could. But I guarantee you they don't want to face us in a series.
They don't want to face a pissed off Duncan Robinson.
And again, but how about Denver, Bobby? How did they do? You're talking about the NBA Finals. You just said they're exactly like the Dolphins. Did the Dolphins face the Philadelphia Eagles or anybody in the or the whatever team freaking went to the Super Bowl? Was it San Francisco? Did they face them? No, but we faced Denver. We got our asses handed to us in Denver. But, so we're not exactly the Dolphins. The Miami Heat is not the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So. You're wrong, G-Man. No.
I mean, I compared them today.
Those things I don't even entertain.
Go ahead, Courtney.
I said I compared the Heat and the Dolphins today, but I was like, since when did the Heat become the Dolphins for injuries? But that was just because our entire team is hurt right now. And, you know, I lost X and now I have Duncan out. Like, let a girl have a minute.
It's a rough couple of days for you.
A rough off season, okay? So much. Stop taking away all the nice things. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy went off. Thank God. I forgot we had Jimmy for a minute. I thought Jimmy was out too. I was like starting. Yeah. And I was like, all right. I saw emo Jimmy, and I was like, all right, we're good. If Rozier finally did something, but I'm with you. If I see one more lead blown at the end of a third quarter, like I'm gonna go on the court and like yell at somebody. Like so predictable that like we have a lead, we come out a half, and then the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, we're like, let's play ball again. So I'm the same. I'm glad just glad we won. Terry really, we've been like crapping on Terry for a little bit because he really hasn't played up to par all the time, but he really came in clutch. Patty, I'm still on the fence with Patty.
Patty shouldn't be taking the Dylan Wright's minutes. Patty shouldn't be right now. I was surprised, and it's funny because I was talking about it like last week. I forgot who I was talking to, and I'm like, I'm surprised that Spo hasn't played DeLon Wright more in regards to especially the times that Hero has missed. And I know Highsmith's minutes were going to go a little bit lower because Martin is healthy, Hawkins is healthy, and Jimmy coming back, I was just going to chuck down some of your minutes. But I was surprised that DeLon wasn't playing as much because he helps you out, especially the Denver game. The point of attack defense on Jamal Murray, that's DeLon Wright's specialty. That's why you signed them. So I don't know if something was going on behind, if they were trying to get Patty Mills comfortable. But Patty Mills will give you an important 15 minutes in a clinching game in a series. Yes, that's Patty Mills. He has the experience. He's going to knock down a contested three. That's perfect. But DeLon Wright helps you in moments, especially on your defense when you're missing Jimmy, when Bam is hurt, and you kind of see the lethargic defensive effort. And well, one thing before I forget, today, even with Bam missing, what I loved is they showed, and they started off the gun with the defensive tenacity, the focus on defense again. The defensive rating has been through the roof in February, but for the last 5 or 6 games, they were slacking a little bit. And now Jimmy comes healthy. It seems to be that when Jimmy takes a day off or 2 days off, even for rest, he comes off recharged. So you can do that in the meantime. But like I said, in a week or two, you kind of have an idea who's healthy. They're doing a great maintenance program right now.
Yeah, well, Bam's 3 points are, I think, a beauty for me right now. Like, to
I
see
told you it
him
was only a matter of time.
win a game. I didn't have it on my bingo card that we would win a game with a last second Bam
With a
3.
bang. And not forcing any threes, which is even more important. The top threes are perfect for him because that's where he usually is, and he has more space to operate.
Bingo.
The corner three, he's shooting with confidence. So, that's a development right there. Now that opens up your offense because now I got to go contest Bam at the 3-point line. What opens up? Lanes.
Yeah.
So
I love
the only great thing about the Heat.
I just want to.
Oh, and it's Pat Riley's birthday today, so happy birthday to the Godfather.
Yes, that's
It is.
right.
Boom.
That is right. I had it noted here, Alex. I do want to talk to you about Bam's threes, man, because you've been saying it for years, and it's kind of been like teased, but now he won a game shooting a 3, and it was a pretty one too. So
And that's all it takes.
You had to get one.
Always been able
you know
to
what I mean? You had to get one right after all these years.
One or two, which is what I love. What I love is like the only thing is, for example, with other players, you don't want him to get complacent, but with Bam, he's not going to get complacent.
No.
With Bam, he's going to take those shots when they're in flow, in motion, which is perfect. And I guarantee you're going to start seeing this now. You saw how much space he shot those threes with, right? In the next couple of games, he's not going to have that space. They're going to come out and close out on him. And what does that do? That opens up Duncan. That opens up Terry. That opens up Hawkins. That opens up Jovic. Love when he comes back as well. He's going to be like, you didn't see the game. Orlando Robinson played too. Bro, this has to be somebody. This has to be somebody we know.
No, it's G-Man. It's G-Man. He's legit.
G-Man?
Yeah, G-Man.
Okay, he's legit?
Yeah,
okay.
It's just G-Man, man. Nobody trolling. That's how he is, dude. That's G-Man.
Evan told me that he was going to sleep today. He was going to be sleeping for this podcast, so I guess G-Man
came in and took over.
Doubled up.
Yeah, Hawkins is going to come through for sure. Hawkins is legit, man. I don't care. Love Hawkins.
Hawkins has just been the role as of late. The role changes and playing out a role. So with Hawkins, once everybody's healthy, Bobby, you're going to see him playoff time. Hawkins is not going to win you 1 or 2 games just on effort alone.
I believe it.
You know what movie I'm excited for? That's coming out. I saw the picture today. I know it's totally random, but I don't care. I'm going there.
Go ahead.
Beetlejuice. Who saw Michael Keaton Beetlejuice? Who saw his picture? Did anybody see it? Was I the only one?
Oh, I didn't see it.
How many?
You didn't see it?
No.
They released a picture today of him as Beetlejuice because their part 2's coming out. Yeah, okay. This year part 2's coming out with Winona Ryder and everything. So I'm like, I'm excited as hell. When I saw he looks like the same dude. I love Michael Keaton. That dude's the best Batman. Beetlejuice. He's all. I'm excited about that.
You're excited.
Now that you say that, the one I'm excited for is Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3? That looks fun.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I told you that I've never seen Deadpool.
I haven't either.
Never.
Oh, you guys haven't seen Deadpool?
Never saw Deadpool.
You guys would love it. It's a sarcastic superhero. Like it's perfect.
You know what?
It's Ryan Reynolds.
You know what movie that just came out? You guys should see Taylor Swift: The Eras Tour on Disney Plus.
So that was Courtney, guys. She was happy to join us here today.
No.
Get the hell out of here! No, I'm just kidding.
Now you just ticked off the Swifties. So
That's right.
I'm good.
Our viewers are going.
It was nice knowing you, Bobby.
We got people watching on Instagram. Dolphins Brawl. Thank you for watching. Well said, Doll. I agree with Doll on this. 1 catch, LOL. I'm sure he's talking about Odell. But the Swifties.
I'm telling you, think I'm scary?
Oh, I gotta send you guys that video. There's this cartoon on TikTok that I saw. It's like weird. The way they draw the cartoon is kind of like creepy as hell. But it's Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes. They're on the field, and Taylor Swift's in the booth clapping with all of a sudden Travis Kelce tells Patrick is like, "I'm gonna break up with Taylor." Taylor Swift or Taylor, and he goes, "What?" He goes, "I'm gonna break up with Taylor." After the game, and all of a sudden, one of the girls hears it in the crowd, and she goes, "Oh!" And it goes all the way up and all of a sudden, like they all go after him. He goes, "No!" Oh crap! It was one of this. I was like, "That's creepy as hell."
Pretty accurate.
I'm gonna send it.
I said, like, I'm happy for them, but I hope he understands, like, what comes with breaking up with Taylor Swift, or like if they
The
don't
whole
work
song.
what, not just a song, like they will. Her ex-boyfriend, like when they broke up, he's an actor. All the Swifties band together and they boycotted his new movie, and like nobody went to see it. It tanked in the box office because they were like, "No, fuck him. We're not going to see his shit," and it tanked.
Who did she date before him?
She did it for 6 years. This like C-list actor, like he's over in London. He's like maybe a C on his good day. His name was Joe Alwyn.
Actor.
Yeah, his name was Joe Alwyn. And he was like a scrawny little blonde boy. But yeah, he was like a C-list actor. He was never really got big, and he was all about wanting to not be in the spotlight, but sure as hell wanted her actor connections. But yeah, so they broke up, and he was like filming a show, like a movie. And when the movie came out, all the Swifties were like, "Yeah, guess what? We're not going to see in box office his movie," and it tanked.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Hey, and
so
one thing I want to, since us three of us here, I want to ask you guys a question, because I feel that the media per se is about to change a lot in sports coverage more than it has.
okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen the Mind the Game, the new podcast from LeBron and JJ Redick. Did you guys see
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
I heard he like LeBron breaks it down, kind of.
Oh, it's if and I see this happening for other sports. If you love, for example, basketball, and you can make this argument. I'm not talking about. There's been great players in the NBA. Obviously, MJ, LeBron. There's always a debate of who's the greatest. LeBron James might be the most cerebral, high basketball IQ player the game has ever seen. And I know what I'm saying here, and people are gonna say it's crazy, but when you have a podcast like this, that kind of null and voids all media personality that think that have an opinion. And I'm not saying just because you played, your opinion counts more. There's a lot of people that haven't played the game of basketball or any sport that can analyze it, that can coach it. But there's a different spectrum there. Real media, if other players, active players, and as you see it keeps growing, and other sports start doing this, people are going to turn away from the ESPNs and the FS1 and start just going through podcasts for sports, because it's a breakdown from the players, which is amazing. Like, that is, people talk so much, and it's funny because LeBron James will say something in that podcast, and there's some fucking idiot in Twitter that thinks he knows more than LeBron and will battle it out, and like he's legit like, oh yeah, of course I could talk. Bro, you're not even in the same stratosphere as LeBron in regards to the game. So people, I think, is going to humble people first and foremost. Is going to humble a lot of media personalities. And I think that's just the future of game analysis. Because sometimes, yeah, game analysis is boring. Like when you hear commentators or people just talk about the same thing over and over and the same take, it gets boring. So it's refreshing to hear from the players, especially the human side of it. I love when players become, because we tend to dehumanize a player. We make them machine-like emotionless. I think it's super cool to have a podcast where the players are even talking about the emotions as the play goes on and the actual feelings you have. So I just want to throw out there, and I'm like, I don't know if other podcasts, or maybe they are going on and I'm not aware of them, in regards to football, hockey, where in season of players talking as things go on.
Raheem has one.
Who? Mostert?
Raheem
Mostert.
Mostert has one. Duncan has a podcast.
Oh yeah. Duncan, that's true.
I slid into Duncan's DMs. He didn't respond to me, but I was like, I asked him to come on Dallas Diaries.
You gotta shoot your shot. You gotta shoot your shot.
Also, anytime I post a thirst trap on Instagram, I tag Duncan in it. Fun fact: if you go back and look, you'll see that Duncan Robinson is tagged in a lot of shit. I'm waiting for him to block me. I'm gonna get a restraining order one day.
American runs on Duncan.
I'm gonna get a restraining order one day. It's okay. I've accepted it.
It's fine. I've accepted it.
You're gonna go down with the ship. You're gonna go down with the ship.
Listen, if I don't shoot my shot, I don't. You know what I mean? I shot my shot with Shannon Needham, and like now me and her are great friends.
There you go.
I tried to get Nick on, but she said that Nick doesn't do podcasts. So know that now. I asked her to put in a good word for me with X. I did slide into X's DMs too and asked him to come on Doll's Diaries. He also ignored me. I tried. I gotta go to a strip club for X, but I've never been to a strip club. But I'll find out where.
Or a paternity suit. Just a nice little paternity suit, and boom, you get to X right away.
Here, you guys didn't see it.
It's true, man. It's true. It's true.
I'll have to find an infant. I'll borrow someone's infant and like put that little what was it, maternity onesie on.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Here's Beetlejuice. That's how he looks.
Oh wow,
man!
It's Mike.
Michael Keaton is a legend.
Ain't that cool, dude? I thought that was the coolest damn thing. Michael Keaton back as Beetlejuice.
I love his appearance the other day in the Oscars when Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There's only one Batman, brother. There's only one true Batman, and that's Michael freaking Keaton. Michael Keaton. All the ones are just posers, bro. Tell him. Damn right. I ain't afraid. I say how it is. Keep it real. But is there anything? You said Taylor Swift. I think that movie already came out. That tour stuff. Is there any movie you're looking forward to, Doll?
I honestly can't tell you the last time that I saw a movie or really I'm so busy that I can't tell you the last time I actually sat down and watched a non-sporting event like show or movie. It hasn't happened in probably a year.
Wow.
In a year?
Wow.
I probably the only other than going to the Taylor Swift concert and going to the theater to see her movie, but I with my
sister. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, guys. They are going to change the value. CPM will be affected. The way sports ratings are tracked, it's going to change. And the latest statistics show that more people are consuming podcasts on TV. The podcast industry will kill talk TV and any talk show that dares be on regular TV. It's coming. I said this because I just gave you some information and you're going to ignore me. It's okay. I'm fine. So there you go. Now she's happy. She told me she was going back on your show. She said that to me.
She has an open invite. Whenever she wants to come on my show, she's allowed to come on my show. She wants to come in on Monday. Tati, am I announcing it now? You're on my show Monday? There you go. I'm not even going to wait for her response. Tati will be on Doll's Diaries on Monday.
Another shit on Bobby episode. Boy, I tell you.
I'll make it so easy for her.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Shit on Bobby.
The shit on Bobby show.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, wait, what happened to it? Right here. There you go. There, that and I'm fine. Yes, and it's okay. It doesn't matter. Whenever you hear that, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It matters a whole lot. A whole lot. Okay.
With my kids, I'll ask them to do something, and then I'll just go, no, it's fine. I'll do it myself. They get up so fast. That's one. If I ever tell you, no, I'll just do it myself.
That is the difference between men and women. You see, when we say it's okay, it doesn't matter, we legit mean it's okay. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's fine.
Who gives a shit?
I said, if someone's how are you? I'm fine. And they'll be like, you're not fine. You're not fine. I'm fine.
See how the way you said it, though? But look at the way she said it. I'm fine.
On text.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Are you happy? Are you okay? You're happy with yourself? You do you, boo-boo. You do you. It's what? What the fuck?
My thing is that I'm just go ahead.
Bobby says nothing.
Yeah, go ahead. You do
Bobby
you.
says nothing. And
but you see, but that's the psychological part, because you'll say nothing, but then he looks away it's nothing. And then or is the one that's the nose. The nose was
You talking about my wife's nose?
So it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No.
Is Alex frozen for me, or is it for everybody? Oh, it is. Okay.
No. Yeah, no, I'll just say, you do you. Go ahead. Do it. I think text is hard, though. If you were face-to-face with somebody, you can tell if they mean it. But if it's a text, my boss will just text you the letter K. And I've been so ingrained to think that someone's pissed off at you when they just send you the letter K. But like my boss is like older, and like to him, like he's just sending you K. But like I have panic attacks, and I'm like, shit, what did I do? Because if I send you a K, like if we're fighting, Alex, I just send you K. You're like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know for sure. You know for sure. I'm like, well, it took you that long. You can't type of the O.
Nope.
So you're just gonna send me K? All right. You know, it's like whatever.
Especially,
when you get an I.
Especially if you send me like a paragraph and then I just send you back K.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And for example, I'll tend to do it if I get a long text and with anybody and you don't want to elaborate or go too much into detail, you just send the okay, and then they'll be like, that's it? That's all you're gonna say? Say, well, I got really nothing else to say. Because text to me is like, we have been conditioned, and text you just read how you feel. So I can legit mean something completely different, and you're gonna read it how you feel or how you want to respond.
Have you seen the Key and Peele skit about text messages?
Yes.
Key and Peele.
Yeah, Key and Peele. Like that.
Key and Peele. Whoa.
That's a remix. That's a remix with Jordan Poole.
But that to me is like the epitome of texting.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do is if you send me a paragraph and I just don't want to deal with it, I'll just write back noted. Like that's it. It just says noted.
And I'll send back up you. Thanks, Courtney. Now we know. It's like I don't do much of the unspoken signals. I am an oversharer and a talker. Bobby does the unspoken more than me.
I can see that between you two. I'm super nervous to come on your show, and then an hour.
A minute, right?
An hour went by, and we were just gabbing it off. So I believe that. I'm a talker too, so it's fine. See, because she's Hispanic, I'm Italian. It worked well.
Oh,
you know, I wanted to do this.
Well,
where's my phone, dude?
And great food. What I love is that usually people that are talkers, their cultures have great food. Why? Because you talk, and people don't realize this. One of the cool concepts of dinners and hanging out is that once you eat, you stay at the table longer than while you were eating, because that's when you share everything, and then a dinner turns into a 3-hour conversation that you forgot how you started the conversation.
And you've said
and you talk about everything, and then comes a coffee, the little dessert.
You've said bye 4 times.
Oh yeah.
Like I've never left a party.
Italian people do that too.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever left a party. Like you go to the first group and you're like, all right, I got to get out of here. Oh, you too. But then someone's like, oh my God, but before you go, the next 30 minutes later, then you go to the next, same thing. Yeah, no, I've never gotten out of a party when I said I was going to leave, ever. Italians do it all the time.
One question that I have, you being Italian, though, do you Italian people feel the same way about our food as we feel about you? Because, for example, we love Italian food. Do Italian people love Hispanic food?
So my best friend growing up, she was Cuban.
Okay.
And I would go to her house and her mom would look at me and tell me I was too skinny. I would happily skip to her house, sit my ass at that table and have like 4 helpings of her mom's food. I don't know, whatever rice that she made, the best fucking rice you've ever had in your life. So yeah, I loved her food. I would go to her house and starve myself all day because I was like, yeah, I'm about to eat good. So yeah, I think that we do. I think we have different foods.
That answers my question.
When I lived in Germany as an army wife, and my best friend was a Mexican couple when I lived there. And it was really funny because her husband was mixed. He was Mexican and white. And so my ex-husband is from Texas. So she asked me to teach her how to make meatloaf because she couldn't make meatloaf. Because her husband's mom made meatloaf. And I asked her to teach me how to make Mexican rice because my ex-husband loved Mexican rice. And so that's what we would do is one night a week, we would swap recipes with each other and kind of like integrate our foods together.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done, and because you brought it up with the Puerto Rican and the Italian, I just thought it'd be funny now that I'm thinking, because I just had this conversation at work and one of my coworkers was laughing because I showed it to her and she's like, holy crap, how much authenticity that you have matched to your DNA, because I've done that before. Have you guys ever done a DNA thing?
No.
Or ancestry?
No.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So how many authenticities, I don't know how to say that word, or matches do you think that I had where it tells you, okay, obviously, Alex, I'm half Puerto Rican and, I got the, Russian,
Irish,
German, whatever.
Sure.
So how many do you think, though, that I have in my DNA?
This sounds very sexual. I like this. This is funny.
Bobby has every don't spoil it. Shut up. But it's gonna be a game. I want to play this. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. Okay. So
you have 8.
Tati just gave it away in the comments.
8? You said 8? Alex says I have 8. Okay. How about you, Cor? How many do you think I have?
How many different nationalities?
Yeah, in my DNA.
12.
Oh, okay. You're closest. I got 17. 17. All right. 17.
God damn, Bob.
All right. Now, here's where the fun begins. All right. So out of the 17, and people could participate too in the comments, minus my mother or my wife. But it don't text or DM Tati. I see you looking at your phone. Don't do it. Just stay away from
Bobby.
All right. Okay. Alex, give me one, Alex. Which one would you say, Bobby? I think you're this.
Definitely German or let me see. I'll say Russian.
Okay. Yeah, I am 30%, 36% Eastern Europe and Russia. So, Courtney, and of course that is like a bunch of them all together, and I think German is in there too.
Okay. I'll say you're, obviously Hispanic a little bit.
What type of Hispanic, Courtney?
I think
we're not all the same.
Mexican.
Who said Mexican? You said, I was about to say, hell, don't play games with me.
I could have said
it. Okay.
I was going to go Cuban.
No Cuban.
No. Well,
maybe the culture I grew up in is Cuban, but I'm not Cuban.
Mexican?
No, what?
Are we going Mexican?
No, not Mexican. I think it would have been cool if it was I think that would have been new, but it's not. Say what?
South Africa.
South Africa?
African. That's bold. That's bold.
I'm actually North African. I got North Africa in there. 2%.
Do you have any Italian in you?
My great-grandmother was Italian. That's not on my list, but yes, my great-grandmother was Italian.
Oh, so
from her father. That's the hardest one to find. DNA or ancestry, doing your research can be hard because I don't know what it was, but that spot right there for Italians, it stopped right at my great-grandfather.
You don't have a load of Italian in me. That was easy to find. It's actually easier to find my Italian side than my Irish side.
See, for me, it was harder. I am from Hialeah, raised. I would not say born. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, but I grew up in Hialeah. So I am definitely from Hialeah. I was raised in a Cuban house. My best friend is Cuban. My step-grandparents, Cuban. Stepfather, Cuban.
So you're basically just like living off of everybody else's Cubanness and hoping that they don't look.
It says Northern Africa, 2%, Todd. Come on. You guys got anything else? You gotta say the obvious one.
Irish.
3% Ireland. 3% Ireland.
I'm gonna laugh if you have any Asian, but I doubt it.
Why would you laugh?
Right
I
now
don't
you
think I
do.
have.
Laugh again, Bobby. I see the 0.1% Asian right there.
There's no Asian in there, boy. There's no Asian in there.
Let's Norwegian.
Let's see.
That's Norway.
Norway. I saw somebody wrote Norway in there. I don't see Norway in here. I don't see Norway. I see Nigeria.
Yep. You have Nigeria in you?
I do.
Well,
Why are you coming in here?
Yeah, that's it.
What are you doing? Uh-oh. Yes, Nigeria. That's not what you're talking about, right?
That's Africa. That's
Do you
what
have
I
any
mean.
Portuguese in you?
Yes, 7% Portugal. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
sir. Yes.
That's the European part. Yeah, you have a few.
So you have
Spain?
Northwestern, and then that one is
Okay.
Nigeria.
Macedonia.
Look at the map.
And here's
Greek.
I don't pay attention to maps.
Do you have anything Greece?
Say what, Alex?
Greek?
Greek? 1% Greece and Albania. Courtney, you had a guess?
That's what it's Albania.
Oh, no, you already said European.
Yeah.
And we did Spain.
British. Are you from London?
Well,
My great-grandfather, yeah, that's Europe. My great-grandfather's mother was English.
Swedish.
That was pretty cool.
Is that when we have
Swedish?
Swedish?
Let's see. Nope. No Swede.
What did you do for Ancestry? Did you send the hair, or what is it? A swab?
A swab.
How did you do this?
Denmark. No Denmark. We'll give you guys one. Well,
American Indian.
Did you say American Indian?
Yeah, Native American.
So just make sure.
Yes or no, Bobby?
Well, I know for sure that I haven't that in my ancestry, but not DNA wise. Because, like, again, my grandmother was Italian, but it's not in your DNA. Because your brother, like, you have brothers and a sister, right? You guys obviously have the same parents, right? Like, I have two of my brothers and one of my sisters share the same parents, Harry and Tammy, right? But just because we share the same parents doesn't mean we have the exact same DNA. My brother Nick might be more Italian DNA than I would have in my DNA.
I think it all would still show up, just at different percentages.
No.
Different percentage, yeah.
No.
Well, it has to be. It's the same 100%. You just
No,
divide.
it breaks off the different things. Even though my grandmother
if you have the same genetic parents, it's the same.
Yeah.
But no,
you could
be more
Italian. Still
talented.
has to equal to 100%.
Right, but I feel like they'd all still be the same, just different percentages.
Nope.
He's not good at math.
No.
He's not good at math.
It's not about math. I'm telling you. I don't have Italian showing up on my Italy showing up on my DNA, but my great grandmother is from Italy. That's the point. Nicky might have Italy in his DNA that shows up on his DNA. I don't.
That happens.
Wow.
That happens when the DNA transferred is less than 1%.
Appreciate it.
But if it's very strong, you're all gonna have it.
It's not the same thing, though.
Or in the aspect of where a child can get more DNA per se from the father than the mother, but if it's the same mother and father, there's always going to be one dominant strong DNA. Yeah, not the same, but the percentages will be different.
You do have
Italian
in you. You have from Sicily.
Sardinia.
And in the map it says that is Sardinia.
All right, make a comment, not on the show.
Yo, don't. I'd like to hear her pretty voice. So you better.
Bro,
then she could join on the webcam.
That answer she's about to be 100% dead.
Thanks for the timeout, by the way. I needed it. So is that why'd you put Jewish? Why are you showing me Jewish?
Oh, are you Jewish?
I got 1% Jewish in my thing.
Oh, what aren't you at this point?
So I'll just go through the list since we're all just hammering down on one thing. Eastern Europe and Russia, 36. Spain, 16%.
And I love the way that she actually just put the comment.
Did she? I didn't see. I'm not looking at it right now. Indigenous Puerto Rico, 14%. 7% Portugal. 5% Germanic Europe. 4% French. 3% Basque. 3% Ireland. 2% Senegal. 2% Northern Africa. 2% Wales. 1% Nigeria, East Central. 1% Cyprus. 1% Indigenous Eastern South America. 1% Jewish, 1% Greece and Albania, and 1% Sardinia, whatever that is. So there you go.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. That is a lot.
I'm proud of you.
It's called DNA. What's his face? G-Man. But anyway, I told you look at the map. I don't like looking at the map. Anyway. All right.
He doesn't like to be properly informed.
Can't read the map. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It doesn't help improve a point. Let's
see
facts.
here.
Who needs facts? Trying to prove a fucking point, man.
Right? Don't come in with, like me and Xavier Howard. Don't come in with your fucking facts. I don't care.
Yeah.
I've already.
Yeah, way to ruin it.
I've already decided what it's going to be.
All right. Let us see here. All right.
And he said, "How can you be Italian when you're blonde?" And I was like, "Because it's fucking hair dye."
Who said that?
When Bobby read this, he thought it said sardines.
A guy commented on like one of my podcasts, and I had said I was Italian, and he's like, "I've never seen a blonde Italian," and I was like, "Well, it's hair dye, so you probably have." Wow. I think I found it out.
Pissed him off. He's done. He's done.
He doesn't like Italians. All right, noted.
Let's see here. These two are a comedy. Basque is the border of France and Spain. You can't be all those things, dude. You would have seen the Italian.
Actually, G-Man is called bleach. Okay. I pay enough
It's called
for
perox.
it.
Oh.
I pay enough for it. It's called bleach.
There you go. You know, we didn't ask you. You haven't been on. There was a question we've asked. Well, Alex and I answered it, and we asked Evan last week. So I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
Your top 5 favorite movies.
Remember the Titans.
Okay.
The Notebook.
All right.
A League of Their Own.
Okay.
Sandlot.
Damn. Okay.
And Fast and Furious.
There it is. All right. I was like, she's going all sports and it's Fast and the Furious. It's like, there it is. All right. Awesome.
The Notebook isn't all sports.
So, Notebook. That's right. My bad. Take it easy. I'm sorry. My mistake. All right. Guilty pleasure movie that like you love to watch, but you wouldn't want anyone else to know that you watch too much.
I own the 50 Shades trilogy.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I've never seen that. Never seen it. Let's see. Alex, you're zoned off. What's up? You awake?
I was just reading something. No, I was reading something.
Okay.
Just ignore me. That's cool. No, it's fine.
I was gonna say something. I guess.
You say 50 Shades and Alex just suddenly goes.
Yeah, he's like, so he said 50 Shades. He's like, oh, Alex, come on, Alex, get out of there! Don't do it.
Get out the room, man.
The movies are tame. The movies are very tame. Any other questions?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
This
Let's go with some
part.
crazy. Let's go with a funny one. Yes, it is the funny part. Oh, he's reading about DNA so he can prove Bobby wrong after the call. Yeah, okay. There's nothing really. Whatever. All right. Are you afraid of ghosts? Why are you
I'm
laughing?
not afraid, but I respect them.
There you go. So you believe in it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's been some crazy things, but
Sure.
I believe, and I'll knock on wood, but I believe I'm protected. I have a ghost who protects me and my house. So
there you go. Okay. Very cool. You see, I like that. I like that answer. Very cool. I love that stuff, by the way. All right. Gosh, this is. Well, first off, Alex, are you afraid of ghosts?
No, I'm responding from outside of my house in pitch black, just so it's light here. But no, I don't. I'm not afraid of ghosts. I feel that there's a reason they are there. There's a reason they're still with you or around you or in the area. There's a reason why they're there, and they always tell me fear the living, not the dead. So
there you go. All right. Let's see here. Do you believe in Santa Claus too, Courtney?
absolutely. And
I believe 100%. 100%. Why are you even saying that? It's just
absolutely.
You fear the living, not the dead. What is the weird? I know this is going to be hilarious. I mean, I don't think it's a text, probably the DM, but what's the weirdest text you've ever received recently?
This weekend was wild with text messages for me. I had 5 guys who I have not spoken to in 6 months or more, like, message me. So the weirdest one I probably got was this guy who said, maybe I want to be owned.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't respond, so then I got good morning.
Okay.
Or
wow,
we've talked about him on here before, the coach.
Oh,
I actually can't repeat this one, but I heard from the coach. We haven't spoken in probably.
But say, repeat it, but just go beep, 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 beep.
Right. Said, it started out normal. How have you been? They've started spring practice. It's been great. And then he said, what are you doing right now? Are you just chilling? You're all over my mind. And I said, why? We literally haven't spoken since September. I haven't physically seen him since June. May. I have not seen him since last May. And last time we spoke was in September. And then I said, why? And then he said, I was thinking about when I was.
Oh,
and I said, and he said, I wanna beep. And I said with that.
Wow.
And that was last time
I knew that was. Goodness gracious.
So that was probably the most wild from this weekend. He didn't respond when I said good luck with that, which at least a thank you would have
been. Oh gosh.
So those
goodness gracious.
Those are tame compared to my DMs, but yeah, no, those are the random text messages. This is why I don't give people my phone number anymore. Because it's weird. This is
just
what
pops on in.
Yeah, I just 8 months later, I had another guy who messaged me and was like, hey, how are you? And I like play along with it. And then I finally was like, who is this? And he goes, John. And I was like,
okay. You're like, all right.
And then you're like, do you want to FaceTime so you can remember me? And I was like, no, I did not.
I'm good. Gosh.
So if you wonder why I don't date anymore, this is the dating pool.
There you go. The crazy world.
But I am going to keep Coach in my phone because summer camps are coming up and my son wants to go to a couple local football camps. So
got to do it. You just have to do it.
I'll take one for the team, but I'm gonna send him a "What are you doing?" around like June. Oh, there's a camp. Would love to see you. Can I bring my 16-year-old by any chance?
So, final question for the both
I was
of
thinking
you.
of you.
I was thinking of you.
Final question for the both of you before we wrap it up. You can leave your feelings at the door. True or false? Dolphins sign Odell Beckham.
True.
Got to leave your feelings at the door. What does your heart say?
False.
All right.
I think they're going to bring him in. I think they're going to talk, but I don't think they're going to agree on a number.
305 Sports Now says false.
I know I liked William.
G-Man says, who cares? Who cares?
Who cares what you think, G-Man? Rest yourself that.
He must be fun at parties. Scotty says, unfortunately, true.
G-Man doesn't go to parties. He talks about parties.
He doesn't believe in parties. You know?
He doesn't believe in fun. He doesn't believe in fun.
Craig says true.
He sends you a card to tell you how whack your party is.
He's calling the cops on your parties because you're being too loud.
Yeah.
At least G-Man's consistent, though, man.
Tinder all day. I'm not on Tinder, but I now know where you are, G-Man. You'll get a match one day, I promise.
Oh, we have too much fun on here. Anyway, Courtney, it's so good to see you and so great to have you back. It's been fun. Any final words before we wrap this up?
No, I missed you guys. I'm glad we could hang out. And I'm excited to see what the Heat do with this run. G-Man Ghost, we're not talking about ghosts anymore.
What do you say about ghosts?
He said he has a girlfriend, and I said we're not talking about ghosts anymore.
Oh, man.
I
think he appreciates the roast.
For the vacuum.
I think G-Man could give it and he could take it.
As you should. If you're gonna give it, you need to be able to take it. And that sounds horrible.
It does. She's great with a vacuum.
In all ways of life, you should be able to take it. You get it.
On to you, Alex. What words do you have to follow up that phenomenal speech?
Well, I got nothing really. Just Heat Nation and Fins Up and OBJ and Heat are getting healthier. Hopefully, little by little, is one of those stretches of the season where one of our team ended the season unhealthy, and the Heat are going through that trajectory. But hopefully, come playoff time, they'll be healthy. But just be patient. Like I always tell my people, be patient, relax, development, and it's going to continue to improve.
There you go. All right, guys, we appreciate you all tuning in. 119 people watching right now from X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We appreciate you all. Hit that like and subscribe button when you come on over to YouTube. That's Courtney. You can catch her on Dolphins Diaries on Dolphins Thirsty. Catch Alex on East 10th Street Boys and the Goon Squad once we could get that going. Might have to update the name. I'll talk to them after that. And I'm Bobby Fisk. Catch me on everywhere. Appreciate you. Like, subscribe, most importantly. Fins up.